So, what is Christian horse girl music, and why does everyone want it back so desperately? Well, Christian horse girl music is a subgenre within K-pop, which I would say always existed, but was popularized in the third generation. That's where you'll find the most popular examples of Christian horse girl music, and the generation people feel most nostalgic for the sound. This genre basically balanced out the overexposure of the girl crush concept. But how is a genre so popular, yet so hard to define? In this video, I'll go over what makes a song fall into the Christian horse girl genre with examples, and what is the concept of the Christian horse girl, and all that defines the genre. So without further ado, let's get into the video. So what makes Christian horse girl music different from your regular bubblegum K-pop sound? Because not every cute pop song can be Christian horse girl music. Only a select few can actually join this exclusive club. The horse girl specifically has a very unique identity in pop culture, in which she wears her passions for something that most people would ridicule her for, and they do ridicule her for, unabashedly. Much like the music that the Christian horse girl embodies is very vulnerable and transparent with its emotions, with an intense crescendo usually accompanied by a high note and keeping that momentum. The music might start mellow and build up to this momentum of high intensity, but it never aggresses or tricks the audience, such as with anti-drops, which build up momentum in a song only to reduce the energy at the last minute. Just like how the horse girl is seen to be very dramatic. And also Christian, by virtue of what divinity is also seen as quite dramatic. I would say the defining feature of Christian horse girl music is the prominence of orchestral pop. Orchestral pop has a profound effect on music, primarily by adding nostalgic feeling to a pop song, or to a song. The integration of classical motifs naturally evokes a sense of timelessness, transporting listeners back in time. This blend of orchestral elements with contemporary pop elements creates a rich, emotive soundscape that resonates deeply with the audience, invoking memories and emotions from the past while still feeling fresh and relevant. Orchestral pop is effective in creating dreamy ambience, and that is probably why it's been so effective in creating this distinctive character of the horse girl, or the Christian horse girl. Songs like Gfriend, Summer Rain, and Lovelyz Destiny effectively use orchestral pop to create a distinctive sound. Summer Rain uses strings and piano to evoke a sense of nostalgia and longing, while Destiny blends classical motifs with modern pop to create a sophisticated and emotionally rich track. The orchestral elements in these songs enhance their emotional impact, adding depth to the music arrangement and set them apart from more conventional pop tracks. The melody and the rhythm of the songs aren't the dramatic part of the music, however. While impressive and definitely beautiful to hear, they play more of a support role for majority of these songs. Of course, there are some exceptions, with the music doing some interesting tricks. The steady rhythm and moderate tempo is a constant support of the vocals of the song, which are the part that add the dramatic flair. The music itself is not there to challenge with intense changes and jarring beats as much as they can be appreciated in other songs. You won't hear them here frequently. Instead, the music does not challenge you, but rather it's supposed to be soothing and pleasing to hear, adding to its replayability. Vocals are the integral part of the genre, as many of these songs require harmonizing with the members and some vocal feats. The song generally tends to complement the vocals rather than to overpower them, letting the singers really shine through, allowing for a showcase of the members' talents and their cohesive group work. And I think this element really helps assist the music to capture the audience's attention, as there will be more natural connection between performer and listener if they feel they can hear the singer. When the music and the vocals aren't competing for the audience's attention, it creates a really lovely listening experience, which definitely resonates with audiences. The lyrics. The lyrics of most Christian horse girl music are very much related to youth and love. Elements of growing up, experiencing first love, or first heartbreak are prevalent themes within the subgenre of music. Yearning is also a huge part of the subgenre. Reminiscing is constantly part of the lyrics, such as with April's Story. The optimism in the lyrics, there's an underlying melancholy that hints at a love which had to be cut short or can now only exist in memory. Unlike many other cute songs which often feature upbeat melodies and happy endings, Christian horse girl music tends to be more melancholic. While not all bubblegum pop songs are devoid of sadness, the majority typically offer a more cheerful and optimistic tone compared to the more somber and reflective nature of Christian horoscope music. And just like how bubblegum pop can be sad, I'm not saying all Christian horoscope music is sad. There's tendency to lean to melancholy. A common trend in Christian horoscope music is its whimsical quality as well, often featuring lyrics that dream of far-off places or magical events intruding into everyday life. This creates a dreamy wish fulfillment atmosphere where the ordinary is transformed by a touch of enchantment and fantasy. For example, Oh My Girl's Secret Garden The song evokes a fairy tale-like atmosphere, whisking listeners away to a magical land reminiscent of beloved childhood stories. This quality adds to the innocence and youthful charm of the sound. Many songs often focus on self-improvement or coping with one's circumstances, but Christian horoscope music often leans towards romanticism. It offers an escape from current realities, allowing listeners to imagine a world or time where they were happier and less stressed, perhaps during high school or early childhood. This is where the underlying sadness comes into play because you can't return to these times and you know it, and the listener knows that, but they may not want to accept that. So common motifs within the lyrics of Christian horoscope music are dreams, love, and elements of nature. So the concept of Christian horoscope music is generally the cute concept. So if they're not going for a schoolgirl concept with elaborate or simple school uniforms, they have flowy, elegant, princess-like dresses. So also if the setting is not in a school, it is within nature of some sort. Of course, there are some deviations, but for the most part, it's either school or nature. And by nature, I don't mean just flowers, rivers, trees, and grass, but also celestial bodies are commonly used. Stars and the moon are common motifs in a lot of Christian horoscope music. Unfortunately, and ironically, not a lot of horses. I mean, great for me because I have never been fond of horses. Unfortunate for the name though. Youth is an incredibly important element of the subgenre simply because of the common motifs of the music, such as first time experiencing things, dreams, and first love, all things commonly associated with teenagers and younger people. And by dreams, I mean like dreams of what you want to be in the future and all that, or like fairy tale like dreams. Not saying you can't be a late bloomer who experiences all of these things later in life, it's just more associated with younger people. Innocence is also an integral part of the concept as well. Not only can you see it with really tame lyrics, but also with the stage outfits. So a lot of white dresses. I would say out of most concepts, this concept has some of the most tamest stage costumes, which makes sense, but also really appreciated because the groups that do this concept tend to be on the younger side, not only in age, but also the group itself years active. I kind of see a trend of groups that begin with this concept and either they do continue to do this concept until disbanded or hiatus, not saying it doesn't happen, but mostly they'll deviate as they grow older. Just for the fact that it's harder to sell this young, innocent, naive image for around a decade. There's just a limit to how long you can pretend to be a teenager if you're not one, especially if you're over the age of 25. And considering that we now have idols like Yunah from Islet getting criticized for being too old to fit into their cute concept or youthful concept as they call it, you can imagine that, and she's only 20 years old, mind you. You can imagine that idols and companies are a bit apprehensive on trying this youthful concept too, especially if their idols aren't minors. I mean, we see it with the group that comes to mind when you first think of Christian horoscope music, or at least for me, the first group I think of when I think of Christian horoscope music is Gfriend. They had a couple of comebacks that really deviated from the Christian horoscope music genre, including Fingertip, Apple, and their disbanded song Mango. And the funny thing about Apple is that it did use a lot of like Christianity motifs and religious motifs, but it had nothing to do with the genre, or it was deviated strongly from what we typically associate with Christian horoscope music. But regardless, it's pretty common for groups to deviate from their sound naturally, especially if they last for a good while. But Christian horoscope music is a hard niche to stay in for too long. Not saying it's impossible, it's just typically rare. So why do people want it back? And I think this is just a common case of nostalgia. As the fourth generation is coming to an end and the fifth generation is beginning, it's natural to feel some nostalgia for a sound that was pretty common in the third generation, but has slowly disappeared. I mean, there are still groups creating the sound, but not to the same extent as there used to be, and to nowhere near to the same relevancy. I also think it's a case that many people got into K-pop during the third generation with groups like BTS and Blackpink, so I feel like there's a lot of people in this fandom who have a lot of fondness for this specific period in K-pop. The fact that this music is purposely trying to evoke a sense of nostalgia from the listener, and then compound that with the people's real nostalgia for this era in K-pop, explains really well why people feel so strongly about this music. On the other hand, Christian horse girl music contrasts sharply with current popular trends, the 2000s resurgence embodied by groups like New Jeans and Kiss of Life. It's not surprising that some listeners might crave a different sound. It's a classic case of the grass is always greener on the other side. The first time I heard someone describe Gfriend's music as Christian horse girl music, I couldn't quite put into words why that made so much sense to me. It really shouldn't have made any sense, but it fit them so perfectly, despite horses and religion having no role in most of their music. I'm glad I found a way to really talk about this discarded genre that I really appreciated at the time. If there are any genres you would like me to talk about in the future, and feel free to comment down below, and I'll happily look into it. Or tell me more groups that you feel fit this concept to a T, or better yet, if there are any boy groups you think also deserve to be categorized in Christian horse girl music. But with that being said, thanks for watching, and until next time, bye!